on the road at any one time?
From 4 o'clock in the afternoon until 2 in the morning, you could have, until probably 9 or 10 o'clock at night, you could have 7 cruisers on the road.
Okay. And-
The professional standard for police operations is that you have a 10 to 15% of your fleet in reserve.
You know, I appreciate that. How many unmarked cars do we have?
We have 6 unmarked vehicles, 2 the town purchased, 4 were purchased with funding from external sources. The vehicle that we are planning on trading in is a 2003 Crown Victoria that has about 100,000 miles on it, and it's beginning to get a shaky front end and those typical age problems that even humans experience, like weak knees and knee replacements and hip replacements. So we currently have 6 unmarked vehicles. We have 3 detectives and 3 police administrators, and that's how they're distributed. Each of the detectives are assigned a cruiser. They're on call 24/7, 365, and the police administrators, myself and 2 lieutenants, are on call 365, 24/7. Also, each one of those functions, though they're vastly different in scope, there are obligations. The detectives are traveling in and out of the community on their investigations. They're doing surveillance work, and the lieutenants and myself are required to respond to meetings, to conduct internal investigations, and monitor the activities of things going on around town. So there is a need to have a vehicle available for those six staff positions.
Are these 3 vehicles that you're requesting replacing, are they being traded?
We'll probably find that the value isn't significant, and what we've done in the past is we've put them out to bid and they've been purchased by resellers.
I'll rephrase my question. Are they going to be disposed of?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So in other words, they're not becoming part of
No,
additionals to the freight, and they're not being, they're not going to be kept in some
No,
other
they're not gonna be-
vehicle.
they're not gonna be kept by the police, and they wouldn't be handed down to another department.
But we don't do hand-me-downs. Not in a long time.
Just asking,
No.
you know, like there was
No, we
a,
don't do 'em.
there was a police, fire ambulance that ended up as a police vehicle, and, you know, I'm just asking questions, that's all. Okay.
Sean has
Yes,
Chief, if this passes, what type of vehicles would you purchase?
The marked cruisers will stay with the Crown Victoria. This is likely gonna be the last year for the Crown Victoria. However, all the equipment that we have, your light bars, your sanitary plastic seats, prisoner seats, the screening cages on the inside, the push bar in the front of the car, they're all designed for the Crown Victoria.
So are you saying you'll take it off the existing vehicle and put it on the
Yeah,
new vehicle?
we transfer a significant amount of equipment from vehicle to vehicle, as long as the model doesn't change drastically. Where we end up with significant costs is the painting of the vehicles. The transfer of the equipment is expensive. We upgrade our radios and/or the laptops that get jostled around.
The Crown Vics have the type of mechanical problems that you described. Wouldn't you be better off looking for a different type of vehicle?
It's still one of the most reliable vehicles out there, believe it or not. Amongst those that are available.
Doesn't make sense.
We're talking as they age. While they're in a 3-year warranty, we have very few problems with those cars. With the unmarked cars, we have gone to the smaller, the smaller mid-sized vehicles that are more fuel efficient than 6-cylinder vehicles. And beginning in 2012, there will no longer be any large, well, I think Dodge may still, the Dodge Charger is they actually have a dedicated plan for Dodge Chargers. However, that's a whole different animal. They're a Hemi a V8 Hemi, which is a notorious gas guzzler. And the Ford Motor Company and Chevrolet are gonna dedicate plans to developing fleet vehicles, i.e. police cruisers, taxi cabs, and so on, that are designed specifically for that, but they will be running on V6 engines, so there will be a savings. But the first year we purchased, there will be an upcharge on purchasing the proper equipment for those vehicles for the first time.
Lieutenant?
Yes, we are looking at alternatives, Sean, as far as vehicles. The mechanic Mark Franson, as well as Sergeant Tommy Romeo, have been invited down. I'm not quite sure on who's presenting it, but for test runs on other vehicles. So we're not just sold on that. We're looking at other options. We're looking at fuel economy. We're looking at a whole bunch of stuff.
And the 3 detective, 3 administrative vehicles, they all take those home?
Yes.
So you're available 24/7?
Any other questions from the public and the board? I would recommend to the board that we vote to recommend this article as amended by the town administrator. The amendments were as follows: remove the town roads with the anticipation of funding it in April, and to reduce the energy conservation to $92,695 to be funded from available funds from unspent articles.
So moved to recommend.
Motion by Mr. O'Leary, second by Mr. Prisco. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And Mr. Beliconis is going to make the presentation on this. Who's going to read the article?
I'll read it. Yep, I read it.
Steve? Okay. We've already discussed 5. Number 6 is to fund the deficit in the Water Enterprise Fund. For those, matter of background, in FY 2009, 10, we closed the year with a deficit of approximately $249,000. The deficit is the result of a rainy season. And I mentioned earlier this evening about water rates, and we're gonna have to review that. Basically, the current water rate structure penalizes the town from the point of view of supporting the water overhead when we sell too little water. And as you recall, in 2010, we had a lot of rain. As a result, the high-end users didn't use the water that they normally would use, and it resulted in a deficit. We plan on funding this deficit from the MTBE fund that we created as a result of a class action suit where the town has collected in the vicinity of $750,000 on the suit so far. The intent of that was for water capital. So, although the board hasn't taken a position on it, we get down to the water rates in December. The chair's recommendation would be that we adjust the water rates to deal with the issue of more average water use, and we take a look at the rates so that it funds the water department when the low end of water use occurs. And then when we have a higher water use, we generate that surplus to refund the money we've taken out of the MTBE fund. So we're fortunate, actually, that we did receive money from this class action suit to deal with this issue. By the way, to date, I think we're at least in the hole about $170,000. $113,000 in the hole for this year so far as a result of, in this case, no rain, and we've had to shut down use of water because there's not enough of it. So again, we have to consider, our whole water rate structure and come up with a better approach. Perhaps putting more of a burden on the, across the board rate rather than this tiered structure where the high-end users end up paying a lot more. If they don't use the water, obviously, then we don't balance the water budget. So with respect to that, any questions? And the board has voted already to recommend, and the Finance Committee has also voted to recommend. And Jeffrey, you want to do this? Article 7, Sean is doing, we already discussed. Article 8, appropriate rebates for future conservation projects.
We received a total, Mr. Chairman, of $13,049, which is available.
So this is as a result of our conservation effort. We have received energy credits, and the purpose of this article is to appropriate those rebates back into the Conservation Committee for use in some of the projects that they have in the queue. The board has recommended it, the Finance Committee has recommended it. Any questions? Hearing none.
Jeff has a question.
Jeffrey?
No question, I was going to say I'll make the recommendation.
I was gonna suggest Sean. So let's see,
Actually, no.
Jeff, Sean,
Sean was gonna do 11, so.
okay, all right, Jeff. Article 10 is to amend the code and special act legislation for charter changes. After much debate by the board, with a number of different proposals, we have decided only to request one change at this time and to form a subcommittee of various other committees in town and boards in town and citizens for additional changes after properly vetting them at our June town meeting or sometime thereafter. But it is important that we give serious consideration to moving the town meeting date, the April town meeting date, from the first available Monday in April to the first available Monday in June. If we look over the past 3 years, we've extended town meeting from April into May and then into June. Did I say 3 years? Is it 3 or 2 that we've done it?
At least 2.
2 years. So, we've always had a very early town meeting with respect to getting information on state aid and also getting a better snapshot of what our local receipts will be, because we use that information to project our revenue plan, and our revenue plan obviously has an impact on what our budgets are gonna be. So, moving it out to June eliminates that issue. What we've done in the past is we adjourn in April, and then we adjourn to a date certain, and under the current rules, unless it's the following Thursday, or Monday if there's a holiday on a Thursday, we're obligated to then switch from no quorum required to a quorum required. So by having the meeting in June, we'd have one meeting, maybe hopefully one meeting night instead of 2, saving some money, and we would not require a quorum to complete the town meeting. The Board of Selectmen is recommending it. The Finance Committee, as far as I know, is making, unless they've changed their mind, making a recommendation at town meeting. Any questions? Hearing none, who will present this? Mr. Prisco? You okay with that?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, it's his baby.
I don't know.
I just wanted to check.
No problem.
Okay, and then Article 11 is a home rule petition on health insurance.
Big state should do it.
just as a matter of background, this is